Hey, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Grow Podcast. I'm your host, Nolan Fast. Today we got Sam and Kyle, and they're from our agronomy department at Farmers Co-op. So right now, harvest is, we're getting pretty close to done, right? Like, at least in our area.
Oh, yeah. Especially over the Philly Beatrice area, we're really close to done.
All right. So after harvest, there's a lot of people will do some preparation for next year, right? So like fall spraying, that sort of thing. What are some recommendations or things that you think people need to be thinking about doing when they're done harvesting?
You can go ahead, Kyle. And you said you guys have been fall spraying. So what are you guys running out there for your fall spray?
We're just starting to get our feet wet with the fall spray, and probably will really start picking up next week. Looking at the weather forecast of getting out there, and the main thing we're after is the mare's tail and henbit and other fall weeds like that, and they're a lot easier to kill this time of year versus the springtime. And this time of year when they're rosette stage, it's easier to kill them. And then you're starting fresh next spring. You got a clean field that doesn't require as much burn down, so you can go out there and lay down your residuals to start the season off. And like 2 years ago when we got that really wet spring, the fall annuals, they could just take off when it was wet and warm, and we couldn't get in the field to spray. So it made burn down more of a task come spring. So starting now in the fall, start clean in the spring, it makes it a lot easier.
Is there like a certain time frame? Like, do they need to wait? Do you wait like as soon as you're done harvesting and then you go for it, or like certain temperature or a freeze, or is there anything like that they need to be cognizant of?
Well, we don't want to get like really too cold, something when your days are still in the 50s, that's probably more ideal. This year with our harvest being a little bit earlier, it's kind of, we're going to probably wait a little bit more behind the combine to get more of our realm of spraying. End of October, beginning of November is more normal time for fall spraying. Let these winter annuals start to grow and pop up.
Yeah, I would say too, with like some of the harvest trash, if there's a lot of leaf drop and even just the trash behind your combine, we've been kind of dry. So you want your leaves to kind of soak in, and maybe if you have some weeds out there, you want them to pop up a little bit so we get good contact on the spray. So you're not going to go right behind the combine, maybe a week or two or even longer if need be, and then we'll kind of shut down the fall spraying, kind of as the weather gets chilly, and you're getting a lot of time, in that frost or freezing weather, and that's kind of when you stop fall spraying, because the plants will go dormant and won't really suck up the chemical like you want it to.
So just be wasting it, spraying it at that point?
Yeah, pretty much. I would say too, if you're planning on running cows on stalks, you can run cows. Like if you're just going to spray 2,4-D, you can run cows pretty soon after that, because that's not going to hurt them as much. But if you're going to throw in like a Syncor to get after some of those mare's tails and those henbits, you're going to want to wait, a good 2-3 weeks at least.
Yeah, I think on Syncor it's 40 days actually.
Oh, is it 40 days? Yeah. That's what the label says. You're going to want to have a good solid rain before
they're out there.
Yeah. So if you're going to give, a month or so, you're not going to put the cows out there, you'll be all right. But so keep that in mind if you want to spray and you're going to run some cows out there too.
But if you're going out earlier now too, than compared to normal of years past, we might be a little earlier on the fall spraying, then you'd want to throw in that residual to help get anything else that's popping up here come November. Or if you wait a little bit longer, then maybe don't have to have that residual and just do your 2,4-D type products.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I know before we started, you were saying here soon, as far as agronomy, you guys are going to start getting crazy busy. Like, what are the main things that people are rushing in to do this time of year?
Everything.
Yeah.
So, lately we've been doing lime already. We've been doing dry fertilizer. We've done a little bit of spraying. Lot of soil sampling right now. So, then you got your seed sales coming up right now. So, there's a lot of different directions we're running today. Try and put a guy in a spinner machine, and try and put a guy in an airflow, and you're trying to put a guy in a sprayer, and keep them all in line.
Keep everybody going.
Yeah, keep everyone going.
How's the seed sales looking this year?
Well, right now, as you finish up harvest, kind of see what you like, dislike, and contact us, the local guy you work with or whoever, and we can see what we can figure out for next year. And we haven't really done much selling yet. A lot of guys kind of finish up with harvest, and then we're trying to see where we're at. So we can figure out what you need and get you set up for next year when you figure out how things do.
I seen some fun pictures online or some little funny videos of farmers recording their seed salesmen running out when they're stuck in the combine. What's your tactic here, or what's your thought on that tactic?
What do you mean, like when they go see them?
Like when the farmer's out there driving the combine, are you the kind of guy that'll run out there and get him when you know you can sit in the cab with him and get that order in for next year?
Well, it's tough now because COVID.
Because COVID, yeah, you can't do that as much anymore.
Yeah, so you got to kind of watch out the way you're doing. But, some guys like you riding the combine, some guys don't. Some don't want to be bothered. So, and some guys like to see you. So you just kind of figure that out, person by person.
Yeah.
If you're going the combine, it doesn't help. It helps to maybe have a little goodie bag with you, a pop or something. Then they're more open to open that door to let you in there.
So can they so if anybody has any requests, you can look up Kyle's information on our website.
Not this year's COVID season.
No. Just leave them a little goodie bag by the truck and wave.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'd say like the biggest thing behind the combine right now is the soil sampling, digging into why didn't this hybrid perform. I think too many times we jump to the conclusion of the hybrid when we need to dig into the soil, see what you got going there, and get some soil samples. Do we need a lime or do we need phosphate? I mean, what's going on beneath the dirt to make us succeed up top with the hybrid, I think.
So with the grid sampling, like we've talked about that a little bit on here, and we've had a few guests in. Like, are you seeing more and more people request that service, or like, is that something that's becoming more common, getting guys coming in asking for grid sampling?
Yeah, I'd say it's becoming increasingly more popular. I think guys they really want to push their field to the limit, and it's going to start with the soil if they want to get the goals that they're going for. So they're really breaking down their fields because, an 80 could vary a lot from one end of the field to the other. So they're really diving into it and getting more precise and starting with the soil and what they need to get to the yield goals that they want.
Well, I know I saw I think it runs until the 30th, so the end of this month. Yeah, so I think it was the 30th. There's a special on grid sampling where you could be entered to win a weather station.
Yeah, I think Wesley is handing out a free weather station if your grid sampling is entered in to our system, and then your name can be drawn out to win a weather station.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, it's like a $450 package. So if you're interested in that, check out our website, myfarmerscoop.com. I'm pretty sure it's on the banner. But the weather stations, like how many people are starting to have those all over, like on their properties?
As far as farmers, I don't know how many have them, but we have them spread out through our territory at our bigger locations. I believe our bigger agronomy centers, I think, have one that the local guys can go on and get their data from their local area.
How much does that information vary from? I've got an iPhone with the Weather Channel app. How much more information would I be getting from having a weather station on my field versus just checking weather.com?
It's going to be a lot more local because I'm not necessarily sure where weather.com is drawing their data from, but it's really helpful during spraying season to get your wind speed for your records. And
so you get that very specific data.
Some of our weather stations, I believe, carry the moisture in the soil. So for irrigation guys, will watch, see what moisture content in the soil is at. There's a lot of different things that weather station can tell you other than just wind speed and whatever. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot more that goes into it.
Going back to following the combine, though, getting away from that a little bit, we talked about soil sampling. If you're in your combine and a field's not doing what you think it should do, or if you have problem areas and some kind of disaster areas or good areas, make sure you write those down, jot them down, kind of go back in your record, see what your fertilizer practices were, see if, you did some things to that field differently, see what your hybrid is. So then we can come in and talk about it, so help have some information that we can, go through instead of just, telling us this field did bad. So then we can talk about it and see what we need to do. And, maybe that field hasn't been grid sampled in a long time and we need to re-grid it so we can get some different fertilizer recommendations out there and things like that. So I guess that's just one thing I think is
like
important.
A best practices sort of thing.
Yeah, so we can find best practices and make improvements, and so we can get to the goals we need to get to.
Like how often would somebody need to grid sample or soil sample like a specific field?
Oh, probably like every 4 to 5 years. We'll grid sample it, run the recommendations throughout that 4-year period, and then come back, resample it, see if we improve the problem areas, so make sure our good areas are staying at the levels we want them at. And so, every 4 to 5, but if someone wants to get really aggressive, you can do shorter than that, or if you want to do longer than that, you can too. But I'd say best practice 4 to 5.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, like I said, if we can make some recs off of those soil samples you pull, and with the yield monitor data. I mean, I haven't done that much. I know Kyle's done some more of that for some guys, but then we can get some maps entered, and we can get your phosphate and some of these other dry fertilizers on. We start that this fall. We're liming right now, so if you need to lime a field, things like that, we've had some good weather this fall, so we might be able to get a good run on some things and get those applications made.
And building off the weather, this is ideal fall weather that we've had for liming and doing dry.
Yeah.
It's not sopping wet out where we're pulling out air machines or tracking up a field. The fields are in good conditions to get these machines across, so we really got that going for us. But on the backside, we really need a rain to start doing some ammonia, because that ground's pretty hard on top, and it'd be nice to get an inch or two of rain to loosen it up, soften it up, so we can get this ammonia rolling next month when the ground cools off.
Absolutely.
So as a company, we do test plots at various locations, right? Like I know there's probably one in Jansen, and
there's one in Raymond, there's one in Milford, there's some farmers by Plymouth that have them, Philly has some, there's different ones all over the trade territory.
Are we getting any data in from that yet, or?
Yeah, the plot results have been rolling in, and we've been seeing some things from different hybrids and varieties, so we have those.
How, if somebody was looking for that information, I know I do the website, and I don't know that I've been given anything yet to put up, but if somebody was looking for something, for the information from that, like who would they call? Can they just call the branch or their agronomist, or how would they find out some of that?
You can call your branch. Sherling does a really good job of emailing all the seed sales guys and stuff, all the different plots out there throughout the trade territory. So your local branch should have a pile of different plot data from this year.
Do we have any like leaders in the pack for products, or can we say?
Oh, there's plenty of them out there.
Yeah, there's plenty of decal corn. E3 beans. They're doing good. We got some Extend Flex beans coming out from Asgro too. That got another trait package with them. So we've seen some pretty good yield results from some of those newer things. So there's plenty to go over.
Okay, we're good. So if you're looking for that information, like they said, call if you're in our area, call your branch, and we probably wouldn't care if you even wanted to. If we haven't harvested yet, you could probably swing by and look at it, right? Like, and at least see what it looks like and check it out.
Yeah, I think most of them are out though. I don't know if there's any left.
Yeah.
So we've been able to get things out pretty quick. So I think pretty much all the plots are out now. So.
One last thing I wanted to mention before we get off of here is the My Grower app. Now you were saying you just the My Grower app is our app for monitoring like your tickets, and you can pay your bill on there. You just downloaded it. What do you think?
I think it's pretty slick and handy. You can go back and see your previous monthly statements, and it keeps you more up to date on. So you're not surprised at the end of the month of what your bill is. You can kind of, track what it's going to be and have an idea of how it would be. And then, so I have that for, like my gas and the feed I get for my cows and stuff, so I can track that. And then like my dad, I got him signed up for it, and, he can track his tickets of what he's got in the co-op and what he's sold and things like that, which you can still access, through calling some people. But I mean, you can just look it up on your phone now.
Because isn't it relatively instant from when you dump to how soon it's updated?
I think so, because it's put in the system, but I haven't checked it out too much on his. It's been more on mine, but I think it's super handy.
Can't you be entered for some prizes right now for signing up for it?
Yeah, I need to look that up.
Yeah, it's a Yeti
There's a Yeti cooler
and the pullover.
Yep, and then a Yeti
tumbler.
It's like a big tumbler though.
Yeah,
it's like I think they called it a Rambler.
Yeah.
So if so right now if you sign up for my grower and you're a new user, there is an end date on it. So if you check myfarmerscoop.com, I know that information's there, or you can check out our Facebook. It's there as well. But any new user that signs up will get entered. I think we're giving away 5 of those packages.
Yeah.
So it's not just one for the entire area. You got a pretty good chance if you sign up of winning it, which I'm kind of jealous because I don't know that I need a giant Yeti Rambler, but I could use a Yeti cooler.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I should be entered for that, right?
I mean,
I'm an employee, but
I can't speak on the actual rules, but I'd say you'd have to take that up with our attorneys.
Oh, sounds good.
Well, guys, I appreciate you coming in. If anybody has any questions, call your local branch, call your agronomist. They would be more than happy to help you out. And as always, these go out every 2 weeks on Fridays. You can find it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Leave us a review, comment, let us know what you think. And as always, keep growing.